Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the fourth part of our four-part series, our final video for how to create your very own customized or custom-made avatar for VRchat, something you've made by yourself. If you guys are just tuning into this video, on our past three videos, our first video we covered the basics of Maya. This is for this very beginners of 3D that not too sure about the way around 3D software. In that video we explained everything from how the camera works to creating objects and moving those objects around a scene. In our second video we covered how to use those shapes or the skills we learned from our first video and build up a shape of our character, and we also followed the guidelines of using a rig. And on our third video we covered the basics of skinning and putting the flesh that we made onto a bone or skeletal structure, and now it's able to be animated, and we finish off that last video by exporting it and getting it ready for our Unity process that we're going into today. So today's video, we are on our final stage. You guys are almost there, only one more video and you guys are done. This is the stage where you're going to be going from Maya and bringing it across to Unity, the game engine which VRchat uses. In this process we're going to go through getting the rig in the right position, or the bones in the right spot. We're going to go from that using the SDK which VRchat provides, and using the character descriptor, the script that they provide with their SDK, and making the character able to function properly inside the game. So I mean, without any further ado, let's get started. So first things first, we need to double check two things. The Unity, I found out last night, you must have the Unity version 5.6.3 P1. I'll leave a link in the description. And the other thing you're going to need is the VRchat SDK. So the way to do that, you just go up to vrchat.com. You go down to the download section here, and then you'll just see the SDK. Go ahead and download that, save it into any location you want, and then we're going to use that in just a second. I've already done that myself. So go ahead, if this is your first time opening up Unity, you may or may not be familiar with it, but I'm just going to open up mine here. I might skip through some of the loading processes, but pretty much you just sign in. You're going to need to do a sign into your account, do a survey and a few things. But I'll just pop through and I'll get back to you once my Unity is up and running. Just follow the guidelines. Alright, so I've got into the stage of a brand new project. I'm going to start a new project here. I'm just going to call it tutorial. Go ahead and save it wherever you need. I think that's fine for me. Create the project, and so you can just go ahead and do that. I'll just let it load up and then I'll get back to you in a second. Alright, cool. So here we are. We have our gaming engine up and running. This is Unity 5.6.3 P1. This is what it comes like when you first open up the game, so open up the software. So as you see here, it looks kind of similar to Maya, which we were using before. The same keys control the same thing. So Alt left click on the screen does the rotation, Alt right click does zoom in and out, and Alt middle mouse does the pan. So you guys are probably pretty familiar. If you followed the first three videos, you guys will be experts at this already. There's three main windows here. We got the hierarchy window, which is similar as the outliner in Maya. The inspector window is similar to the channel box editor, or this is where you're going to alter the objects in the scene. And the last one down here is the assets folder, which is where everything you can store. Maybe you have characters, you have assets, you have animations, you have materials, things like this all belong down here in the assets folder. So with our new scene set up, we should have had the SDK downloaded somewhere on our computer. To get started, for VRchat purposes, we need to import this to the engine so it knows that we have a custom package. So the way to do that, up next to File, Edit, you go to Assets, you go Import Package, and then you go to Custom Package. Alright, so in the custom package, you need to go and find where you saved your the SDK to. I've saved mine in the VRchat folder, VRchat SDK. Go ahead, double click on that file and then let it load up. This comes through with a bunch of things. There's actually some things in here you don't need, but for for today's purposes, it just means it takes a little bit longer. Just go ahead and click import. This takes a while, so I'll get back to you in just a second. Alright, cool. So I think it's just about finishing up here. It took about a good 2 minutes or so to get most of the stuff in here. But as you see, it's in the assets folder now. We have a new folder called VRSDK, which is perfect. It means it loads in the animations for the game. It loads in some of the emotes or the other things that you need for the game. But that's cool. That's what you need. It's got the script. The script is the most important thing that you guys are going to focus on today. And it also leaves you a new menu bar up here, and we'll go through this in just a second. Alright, so now we need to import our FBX file, which we exported on our last video, the one we saved right at the very end of that last video. So the way to do that, I first like to create a new folder, and I'll call this characters. You can use the scene multiple times, so you don't need to reload the SDK every time. And now in the folder here, you're going to want to go import new assets. So just right clicking on this menu, you can do it from the top in here, assets as well. But we'll just go import new asset. We need to go find our where we saved our file. So mine's in here. I have, what did I save it as? Export FBX. Oh, no, that's the one. Cool. So it's this FBX file here. Just go ahead and import. Nothing special to it. It's going to import a few things here. And as you see, just down in this bottom window, we can see our character is in here now. So it looks pretty dark at the moment. No worries, we'll fix it up soon. But it's good if we went ahead and dragged him into the game somewhere. He's looking very small, and we'll fix it up also in just a second. So I'll just undo that. So first things first, he's looking small, so I'm just going to increase the scale by a factor of 10. There's no worries, and you can go down and just apply that. Cool. And the second thing we're looking at is the rig. This is all the stuff you want to do this before you put them into the scene. It's no problem if you do. You can always just redo these steps. It's not too hard. So in the rig option, just next to the model, I'll just cancel that. In the model, we increase the scale factor to 10 just for this character. I've made the rig, gone to the rig tab next to the model tab, and I switched from generic to humanoid. And the humanoid rig is the place where you're going to affect which bones affect which part of the body. So we just need to double check everything's in the right spot. It should do straight away. So you go configure, apply. Alrighty. And it brings up this small menu here, its own separate scene, where we can see all the different bones. We didn't really look at this too much, but this is the geometry that we are used to seeing inside of Maya. So without it focusing on too much of this, you just want to go in here and just check the hips are connected to the hip bones. Just if you have the W key on, you'll see the hips are in the right spot, the spine is in the right spot, the chest is in the right spot. That's our three major bones that we focus on. If you have an upper chest bone, you may have one of two things. You may not have remembered to decrease the spine count to 3 back at that second video, or it might just be assigned to a randomized bone somewhere on your rig. So mine's looking good. I don't have anything on the chest. Everything's green. I think I'm good to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and click done. Perfect. Alright, with all that done, now we can drag our guy right into this hierarchy window here on the left hand side. And we see our guy standing there confident, keen and mean, ready to go. We can get rid of the sunlight here. So just with W selected. And this camera we also don't need. You can do that both in the hierarchy or from the scene. So he's looking quite dark. And I think, he's kind of not the look that I'm going for. In Maya, his color was perfect. It was fine. So what we can do here is we can create a new, if we go to create, we're going to create a new material. And I just like the default material. I'll just call it clothes. Something like that. Anything, you can name it anything you want. And with Unity, you can just drag and drop it onto a piece of the body, and you'll see it kind of just applies that material to your your character. So I'm just gonna go do it to most of the flesh parts, kind of give them a tricky look. You can always change the material up here on this right hand side with it selected. You can change it to like a more metallic look or something, but I'm happy with this default material. So that's kind of looking good. I just finish up his arms here. Let's do that and that. So it's kind of got almost like a jumpsuit on, or an exercise fitness suit. Might apply it to his head there. Maybe I won't do it to the head, I'll just undo that. And our character is, believe it or not, he's pretty much ready to go. You just need to go ahead, click on the character there, Retina, on the hierarchy window, and we need to add one component. So just following along here, don't click on this guy here, you don't need to focus on him. Now we're just focusing on the guy in the scene. And we go on this right hand window in the inspector, go to add component, write SRC for script, and we're looking for VRC avatar descriptor. If you don't have that, you might have had problems with the VR SDK when you were first importing, but no worries at all. That's perfectly fine. So my guys in the scene. Yeah, sorry. That last thing I was saying was, if you're not seeing the descriptor, then you might just need to redo the VRC SDK, or just leave me a comment underneath the video. I'll try and reply to you as quick as I can. But yeah, now we see on our right hand inspector window, we have our VRC avatar descriptor script, and this gives us the option for affecting where our viewpoint is on our character. So if you can see here, there's a small orb just floating in front of our character, and this represents, I like to think of it as a VR headset. So if you can kind of think of it, this is the VR headset. I need it in front of my eyes, just above my head. Kind of just imagine it like that. You can change the Y axis here. You got the X, Y, and Z, just like on Maya, and you just pop it up. You can click and drag, and you'll see it. Click and drag on the Y there, left or right, and then it will move up and down. So I want mine right about there. That's kind of where a VR headset would probably sit if I was this guy, and you just want to give him that sort of look going on there. And with that being done, my guy is 2.8 meters. He's probably a bit taller than he probably needs to be. You can change the scale here on the guy here if you want, but I'm happy. I don't mind being a bit taller than some of the other people in VRchat. Alright, so the last step, you guys are there. You guys have finished everything. Everything's perfect. If you do have any troubles, just let me know on the game, or let me know on the video in the description. The last step here is you need to go to the VRchat SDK, go to show build controls down here. We need to sign in, sorry. You need to go to VRchat SDK, go to settings, type in your username and password. I'll just skip this on the video. Alright, and I'm just finished up clicking signing in after entering my username and password. There we go, I am ready, and we're done with that. So now we just go up here, nothing else we need to worry about, everything's fine. We check the rig, we check the SDK, so the eyes in the right spot, the headset, and now we just click on VRchat SDK, go to show build controls, and it's saying your polygons are too high. That's because the spheres have quite a bit of polygons. It's no problem, and we can just go build and publish. We just build and publish. Here we go. You just save the name. I'll just call it Retina tutorial. And save, and there we go. So it's just future proofing the content here. I'll skip this part because it takes a bit to load. Alright, and now after clicking that build and release button here on the VRchat thing, you're left with this window here, and you can name your avatar. So I'm going to call mine Retina, and I'm going to call it thanks for watching. And you just want to double check you don't have nudity, sexual content, stuff like this, and you just got to agree to the terms and conditions and go upload. You can change this picture if you wish. You just go back to the scene. I actually accidentally forgot to do that, but you go to the scene and you'll see there's a camera in the scene, and you just move it to the right area. So this part also takes a little time. It takes about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and I'll just skip this part and I'll get back to you. Alright, cool. So my loading has just finished. It took me about 2.5 minutes or so, and I finished up with a completed update, or update complete. Launch VRchat to see your content. So I just go OK. I can close that out now. I can minimize this. That's fine. I'll just go ahead and launch my VRchat here. I'll just go non-VR mode. I'll just skip this and I'll see you guys in the game. Alright guys, welcome to the game. We're in VRchat. We're just at the Great Pub. There's a few people in the other bathroom over there. I'm just ready to go. Now's the moment of truth to see if our avatar works. So we just go down into the settings menu, go to avatar, have a look around in this personal section. Here's the one we made. I made this one previously just to double check. You can see it's loaded up here just perfectly. Go ahead and hit change, and voila, here I am. Hello guys. I don't have a handset, so I can't say hello, but let's try an emote. Let's try clap. Clap's perfect. Let's have a wave. Hey guys, it's me. So yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for watching my series. It was a great time. I had a great time making it. Hopefully it helps a bunch of you guys out making your own avatars, and I hope to see you guys' creations in here soon. I'll be in and about. My name's written on the game if you guys want to say hello. And in the future, I'll be making some more advanced tutorials for you guys. But yeah, for now, thank you very much. Hope you guys have a very good day. And thanks for watching. Cheers. See ya.